What is up, guys? Giants901 here with another FIFA 16 top 5. I've already made a bunch of these, so make sure to check those out after this video, and I'm going to be making plenty more, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future ones. But anyways, this one's going to be talking about the top 5 passes in FIFA 16. We're going to start right away with number 5, and that is the lob pass, which is done by pressing the X button on Xbox or the square button on PlayStation. This move obviously is really good for crosses. You want to cross the ball, lead the player that is open in near the middle of the box, and then take a nice little header or the first time shot. The lob pass, really good. You can either do it once, do it twice, so it's a little bit more of a low cross, or even do it 3 times and it'll do more of a ground cross. Really, really good also to switch direction on the pitch. If ever you see that there's one side of the pitch where there's a whole bunch of defenders and the other side is completely wide open, don't be afraid to do a lob pass to the other side so you can regroup on the offense and get a lot more space to start your attack. Also, the best way, in my opinion, for your goalkeeper to pass the ball in, either do a lob pass to your left back or your right back, or to those center defensive mids. Number 4, guys, is the driven pass, which is done by pressing the RB and the A button if you're on Xbox, or the R1 and the X button if you're on PlayStation. This is really good to quickly move the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. Also really good for when you're right outside that penalty area. You see all those center backs. Those guys are going to be rushing out. They're going to try to intercept the ball. Those are really tight windows. Whenever you have really tight windows, you want to do a driven pass. That way the ball gets there a little bit quicker before those center backs can react, can get in position to intercept the ball. Really good for just outside the box or inside that penalty box, so you can get it to those strikers quickly, and then he can make a nice little move to get in there and take a shot on goal. Also really good for the counterattack. Of course, you want to quickly move up the pitch. You want to quickly attack, get those pace. You take advantage of the pace on your team. You want to do those driven pass, get the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. But the biggest problem with the driven pass, as you're seeing in these situations, guys, with the recent patches, this used to be my favorite pass, but with the recent patches, it makes the first touch even worse than ever. So be aware of that. Only do it for long and medium range passes. Number 3, guys, is the through ball, which is done by pressing the Y button or the triangle button if you're on PlayStation. The through ball is really, really useful, but you must have a good passing lane for this to work. It must be a wide open passing lane, and if you do have that wide open passing lane, this is the best pass to do because it'll lead your player. So if he's making a nice little run, you do the through ball, it's going to lead him, and he's not going to have a bad first touch more often than not. This is one of the best passes to make sure that you don't have a bad first touch. He's going to get it in stride and be able to maintain his full speed. He's going to be able to maintain his maximum speed, and he's going to blow by those defenders, get that perfect ball in the perfect situation, and you're going to score a lot of goals, get a lot of scoring opportunities. So definitely, if you have an open lane, passing lane, do the through ball. Number 2, guys, is the 1-2 pass, which is done by pressing the LB and the A button if you're on Xbox, or the L1 and the X button if you're on PlayStation. The good part about the 1-2 pass is once you do this pass, the player that passed the ball will go on a run towards the goal. So whenever you find yourself in a situation where you got another player really quickly and you want him to pass the ball and then do a nice little run, get by those center backs, more often than not, those defenders are gonna rush out at the player. So when you do that, the defender is going to rush out as soon as you pass, and it's going to leave a huge gap behind him. And if you do the 1-2 pass, your player is going to abuse that gap, get into that gap, and then either you can do a through ball or a lob through ball or a regular pass, depending on the situation, and you can get in there through on goal. Really good just outside that penalty area, as you're seeing in these situations. Just outside the penalty area, do the 1-2 pass, your player's going to get right by those defenders, and you're going to have a split second decision to pass the ball, and if you time it correctly, you're going to get right through on goal and get an easy goal opportunity. Number 1, guys, the best pass in FIFA 16, in my opinion, is the lob through ball, which is done by pressing the LB and the Y button if you're on Xbox, or the L1 and triangle if you're on PlayStation. This move will not work if you try to do this like in previous FIFAs, where you just pass it as far as you can, make your players make runs, and then just put as much power into it and hope for the best. That no longer works, and thank goodness that doesn't work. But this is the best move in my opinion, just because it has so many different uses and is so good in so many situations. First things first, if you ever find yourself that you see a player making a nice little run, you want to lead him, but there's a defender in between your player that's passing and the player that's making the run, you want to do the lob through ball so it gets past that defender and then it leaves your player that's making the run in perfect stride so he can score the goal. It's also really good for crosses. I know a lot of people don't realize this, but whenever you see someone and he's in good position for a cross, rather than doing the regular lob pass, if he's close to you, you want to do the lob through ball, especially if you want to lead him with the pass. And that way, he can get into position and either take the first time shot or take the header and score the goal. The last main use is to beat those slide tackles. If you see someone that's doing a lot of slide tackles, do the lob through ball to go right over those sliding defenders and into your intended target. The one problem with the lob through ball is that occasionally you'll have a bad first touch, or your player will have to slow down and wait for the pass and he won't be able to maintain his maximum speed. So be aware of that if that ever happens to you. But that's basically it, guys. I hope you guys liked this. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and share with all your friends. Click on one of the boxes to check out some of my other videos, and of course click in the middle to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future tutorials or tip videos. Thanks, guys.